Hello and welcome back to TechnoSurgeon YouTube channel. So we already knew that the AMD was working on the FSR4 based on int 8, as the source code for FSR4 was there available on the GitHub repository, which was forked, and it is still remaining accessible. And the reason behind it, why they were working for int 8, has came out because Sony's new PSSR shares FSR upscaling roots but uses an int 8 implementation. Yeah, you heard it right. Like Mark Cerny says, PS5 Pro's new PSSR uses int 8 like the leaked FSR4 for RDNA 3 and 2. So what is happening is, essentially Mark Cerny came out and said that there was a new PSSR version which is PSSR 2.0, and it is essentially based on int 8 compute because as you can see in his statement, FSR Redstone and the new PSSR have somewhat different implementation due to the underlying hardware. Example, FSR upscaling uses 8-bit floating point and PSSR use 8-bit integer. The max count, that is the amount of maths involved, also vary a bit, and the training data is similar but not exactly the same. None of the above factors seem to make much difference in result, as both SIE and AMD have just released their refreshed models. It will be an excellent test of how closely we can match our system, Max Cerny said. So essentially what's happening is, because not PSSR but PS5 Pro is based on RDNA 2 architecture in its underlying hardware, and it uses int 8 compute, and PSSR2 is essentially using FSR4 kind of upscaling tech, and it is being able to run it on PSSR2. So that means that PS5 RDNA 5 is based on RDNA 2 GPU, PS5 is based on RDNA 2 GPU, and PS5 is a hybrid RDNA GPU with 30 working WGPU, and hybrid is based on RDNA 2.0 technology, 2.5 you can say, and that's why in practice the same model is used but it's trained on different data. Example, if targeting a 2:1 fixed upscale, then the training data used is just for that upscale ratio, and that training result is different parameters. Having said that, not seeing too much difference in result, the various flavors in the updated FSR upscaling really are rather close to the new PSSR. And what it essentially means is, if AMD wants it, it can enable FSR4 kind of FSR upscaling support for the older RDNA 2 and RDNA 3 graphics card, but they are not doing it, and this might be the right reason to it, because don't know why they are not doing it, but Sony has done it. Sony's PlayStation added the int 8 version in the latest update for the FSR upscaling. For upscaling 4:1 is only supported, 4.1 is only supported on RDNA 4 GPUs, but Sony has implemented it on their PSSR in their latest update. So don't know why AMD is not doing it, and they should do it literally. Next up, we already knew that Intel is reportedly readying for a 10% price hike for consumer CPUs, and now we knew the reason why. CPU shortage is getting more serious day by day, no less than the memory chip situation, according to an unnamed gaming PC company. And the reason behind it is, we are going from the training of the data to not that to server side, but essentially spokespersons has came out and said that average price hike of between 10 to 15% for the CPU model is expected. An executive from a gaming company said that the shortage of CPUs is expected to becoming worse in April and June quarter. It quotes the executive saying, Intel and AMD have prioritized capacity for server CPUs, and the supply for the PCs have become less. What PC player can get in Q2 is much less than the volume we got in Q1. So AMD and Intel are going all in with their server CPUs, because in servers there's more profit margin compared to consumer CPUs. That's why it's happening. So the prices will get even worse. Yeah, it looks bad. Next up is AI bubble about to pop, as Sora, which was developed by OpenAI, is saying goodbye. As the Sora official post says, we are saying goodbye to the Sora app. To everyone who created with Sora, shared it, and built community around it, thank you. What you made with Sora mattered, and we knew this news is disappointing. We will share more soon, including timeline for the apps and the API and the details on preserving your work, the Sora team. So don't know why it's shutting down, but Sora app was having more monthly user, but it started to decline from December 2025 to Feb, as you can see it from the trend over here, which is interesting because the Walt Disney Company and OpenAI reached landmark agreement to bring beloved characters from across Disney brand to Sora, and they were indeed happening. As you can see on the screen here, it was indeed happening here, and it was generating the beloved characters in images. But why they are closing it is the AI bubble about to pop. It remains to be seen, but at this current point of time, it's looking that way. And lastly for today, finally a new competitor has entered a CPU market, as ARM has expanded compute platform to silicon products in history's first company's first. Yeah, you heard it right. ARM has entered the CPU market. Yeah, ARM makes CPUs, which is true, but ARM never made a CPU on its own. They licensed the CPU cores to OEMs like Apple and Qualcomm, and from that they were able to make CPUs, but ARM never made it on its own. And now ARM has extended its platform breadth to include production silicon products for the first time across computing, across IPs, ARM compute subsystem and silicon. And they had first designed its first data center CPU and the ARM AGI GPU for agentic AI work infrastructure, delivering more than 2 times performance per rack compared to x86 platform. Developed with the lead, it is developed by the lead partner Meta, with other customers and leading ODMs committed for production. The ARM AGI GPU is backed by strong support from global ecosystem, and agentic AI is reshaping the AI infrastructure, driving more demand, and that's why ARM entered the segment. And it is slated, it comes up to 136 ARM Neo was V3 cores per CPU, delivering leading performance per core, SoC, blade and rack, with 6 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth per core at sub 100 nanosecond latency, which is huge. 300 watts TDP with a dedicated core per program thread enables the deterministic performance under sustainable load. Efficiency is also there with support with high density 1U server chassis that supports air cooling deployment with up to 8160 cores per rack, and liquid cooled system delivering up to 4500 cores per rack, which is insane. And since ARM has entered the GPU, not GPU but the CPU market in server side, it will be a major turning point. It remains to be seen how much, but yeah, at this current point of time it's looking pretty nice, and let's see how things turns out. But yeah, that's it from me today. What do you think about the news? Sound of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll meet you in the next one. Peace out.